Hey, this is Mr. Carvajal. Hope you're doing well. If you were absent, didn't get to do this assignment, you can make it up now. So I'm glad you're watching this video. You're showing yourself and me that you're strong, confident, and successful. So if you go down to Soapstones for Curt Flood, click on that. And you're going to do this only if you're absent. It should be done in class on paper if you're here. Remember to use the keywords in your answer and so forth. So we can click here to read the article about Curt Flood. And Curt Flood was apparently a great baseball player. But even if you're a baseball fan, nobody in class had ever heard of who he was. We've heard of Hank Aaron, we've heard of Babe Ruth, we've heard of Joe DiMaggio, but Curt Flood, who's that? And that's part of the problem. He's not well known, and there's a reason why. So we're going to go ahead and read the first part of this together. You can finish on your own, and then you can do the soapstone. But let me tell you what the soapstone's about first, so that you know what to do with that. You can click here and open this up. And maybe you've done this in middle school, maybe not, but you're definitely going to do this in high school. And it's just a very organized way of looking at something that you read, maybe poetry, maybe nonfiction like this, and be able to think things through. The thing to remember that this is inferencing, this is riddle skills. So, if you're not sure if you're right, hey, you want to go ahead and trust yourself and come up with an answer anyway. Another thing to understand is that there's some help, because a lot of these, you don't need help with this. What's the subject? Well, you can kind of think about the title of the article to come up with something. What's the occasion? If you read the first page, you'll know why he was writing this. The audience, what kind of people is he writing for? I don't think he was writing for teenagers. Think about who he's writing for. Purpose, why is he writing this? Well, you just have to look at the first page, look at the title, and you'll know why he's writing it. The speaker, well, after you've read it, you can tell by the language he uses, the things that he says, what kind of person he is. For the last two, that's the one I really want you to notice, is the tone. What is the feeling or attitude of the speaker? Well, guess what? I have tone words on the second page. Keep in mind, this is not just neutral writing. This isn't informational. This is persuasive. He's trying to persuade people to do what he wants them to do. So in persuasive writing, you want to think about, well, what's he trying to accomplish? And who is he talking about? And how does he feel? So you pick a word or two from here and use that in your answer. And then on the last one, structure, well, what kind of writing is this? Which organizational pattern? You don't have to click. It's just right here for you. These are your options that you can choose from. These are a little bit different than what we had notes on a few months ago, and that's because it's been changed by the district. So this is what we're supposed to focus on. So pick one of these to answer this question. Pick one of these to answer this question. Be sure and write me sentences. Don't just give me a 1 or 2 word answer, because I won't give you a lot of credit for that. So do quality work, because you are strong, confident, and successful. All right, so let's find out about Curt Flood and see what kind of person he is, what's going on with him. Why this is the year baseball should correct its mistake and put Curt Flood in the Hall of Fame. It's from the WashingtonPost.com. This is from October 7th, 2020. All right, let's focus. If you have your phone out, put it aside. You're a good person. There you go. James E. Clyburn, a Democrat, represents South Carolina in the U.S. House. David Trone, a Democrat, represents Maryland in the U.S. House. So these are both congressmen. They're politicians. They're probably not young, right? All right, let's get started. We write as baseball fans with a fondness for the game during the 1960s, when it provided a great escape in that turbulent time. In particular, we share an admiration for former St. Louis Cardinals center fielder Curt Flood. He won seven consecutive Gold Glove awards and was a 3-time All-Star, and played an instrumental role in the Cardinals winning 3 National League pennants and 2 World Series titles. Flood might have been on track for a Hall of Fame career if it hadn't been cut short because he took a principled stand on October 7th, 1969, and refused to be traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. Baseball never forgave Flood for asserting his rights and challenging the long established order. He played only 13 more games in the big leagues, but his inspiring example has echoed down the years and helped shape the way today's players are compensated and treated. The induction of Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame is long overdue. The organization's Golden Days Committee should vote to induct Flood when it meets in December. Let me read that again. If you want to think about the audience he's writing for and you want to think about his purpose, let's read that paragraph again. The induction of Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame is long overdue. The organization's Golden Days Committee should vote to induct Flood when it meets in December. The committee exists to consider those who made significant contributions to the sport between 1950 and 1969, including players no longer eligible for election by baseball writers. Flood certainly merits a plaque in Cooperstown, right? So what he's not saying is that, yeah, Flood is one of those people who can't get in any other way. Let's continue. It is difficult to exaggerate the stunning effect of Flood's refusal to be traded on Major League Baseball. The late 1960s, right during the civil rights movements, were a stirring time for African American athletes making powerful statements. Heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali in 1967 refusing the military draft for the Vietnam War, citing his religious beliefs and going to jail instead. Tommy Smith and John Carlos raising their fists in the Black Power salute at the Summer Olympics in Mexico City in 1968. Now, here was Flood insisting on his right not to be treated like a commodity, right? I'm not just some thing, I'm a person. Since 1922, when a congressionally mandated antitrust exemption, right, they can get away with doing something they're not supposed to do, was decided by the Supreme Court, professional baseball players had been bound to their teams by a contract reserve clause that essentially bound them to a single team with no negotiating rights, right? They couldn't leave if they wanted to. They also couldn't stay if they wanted to. Players could be discarded or traded at will. All right, so continue reading on your own and finish this out. This is some kind of adult language, right? Some academic language. If you don't know some of the words, remember to skip it and keep going and read all the way to the end. Once you're done, you should have a good understanding of what this is all about. And then you can do your soapstone. Put the title. All you have to put is Curt Flood. You don't have to copy the whole title. But what's the main idea? What's this mainly about? What's the occasion? Look back. Write sentences for your answers. Just don't give me a word or two. Who's the audience, the purpose, the speaker? What's the tone? Remember, go to the back. What's the structure? Go to the back and use those to help you answer and get a great grade on this. If you have any questions for me, let me know. You are strong, confident, and successful, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.